Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, man. We are back in action on the channel, man. I love this community. You guys are the illest. For sure, you guys are like the best community I've had ever. Now, we're hopping right into Miss Alexis Avila. You know what I mean? Well, I'll tell you who's not having a good day is Miss Avila right now, facing about 15 years and some months now right now. Only 15 she got to go and some months. But we're basically going straight into the sentencing of Mrs. Avila. Now, we're going to see the verdict, her reaction, and basically the sentencing and what the judge had to say. Now, the judge was super chill the whole trial. You barely even saw his face because it wasn't a mockery like, for example, a Darrell Brooks trial. Or it wasn't like as crazy as the Alex Murdaugh trial. It was more low-key for him. So now he gets to say his feelings. And I'll tell you what, he's a lot more, comparing to the number he gave her, what he's saying to her sounds like he's being nice. Like, oh, you're a kid. Thank God your baby was alive. We'll get to where we're going. We'll get to that in a minute, but he still throws the book at her. But anyways, let's get straight into this. Grab your drinks. I got the protein shake, trying to stay healthy, you know what I mean? So let's do this.
All right, would the defendant please rise? State of New Mexico versus Alexis Nicole Avila.
Now, right before we get into it, I think what's in her head right now is a 5-year maximum. That's what I'm thinking. Because her Miss Curly Hair over here is telling her, she's all up in her ear like, oh yeah, nah. You're going to go to jail, sweetie, but we're going to get you the minimum. Don't even worry. You are a child. You didn't know what you were doing. You were blacking out. So I can imagine Avila is feeling like, okay, I'm ready for this couple years. I'm ready to take this 5 to the chin. And then something else happens.
CR 2022-13. Verdict. We find the defendant, Alexis Nicole Avila, guilty of abuse of a child resulting in great bodily harm as charged in count 1, signed by the forepersons.
She knows that's coming. She knew that was coming.
Verdict. We find the defendant, Alexis Nicole Avila, guilty of attempt to commit first-degree murder as charged in count 1.
That's a big one. That's a big one. It's getting realer for her.
Signed by the forepersons. There is also a verdict form that has been scribbled through on the signature line. It says, we find the defendant, Alexis Nicole Avila, not guilty of attempt to commit first-degree murder as charged in count 1. You can be seated at this point. Let me poll the jury, and I'm going to call your.
So she was found guilty on two counts and not guilty on 1. But I'm assuming those 2 counts are going to be what, wrecks her anyway.
Number.
Oh, them eyes. Look at them eyes. There she go. There she go. Look at the eyes. She's like, but you told me. Look at this.
And I'm going to call your badge number.
But you told me. But I thought that, look at that face. That's the but I thought face right there. But I thought I just wanted to, jail.
And if you would identify whether or not your verdict was guilty as to attempt to commit first-degree murder as charged in count 1, and guilty as to abuse of a child resulting in great bodily harm as charged in count 1, and that the verdict form that scratched through with a mistake as to your verdict. And I'll start with juror badge number 1.
He's going to read that whole thing out. Okay, so we're going to skip over. So basically, we get the guilty verdict. Avila is she's not really having it. Let's get a little gander at what Avila is looking like right now.
An error.
Yes, sir.
Form that was first-degree murder.
Yes, sir.
And do you agree that the verdict form that was scratched through was simply an error?
Yes, sir.
badge number 5.
That right there, that's the face of reality. That's when reality hits you. They always say people try to run away from reality, and it's true. Reality sucks most of the time. But you gotta live in that, you gotta stay in that reality. Because to be honest, if she stayed in that reality and tried to not act like it didn't happen when she first had that baby, and she was just like, all right, this is my reality right now. We're not gonna try to escape that. This is what's real, and I'm gonna have to stick up with it. I have a baby now. Or I don't. Maybe I give the baby away. No, she tried to just, throw it away and nothing happened. But guess what? This is the part in life where you don't have no choice but to face the reality. Certain times in life, there's no choice but to just look at it and say, yeah, that train is going to hit me and I can't do nothing about it. The sooner people realize that shit, the sooner dumb shit like this stops happening. But, it's human nature.
Do you agree that your verdict was guilty of abuse of a child resulting in great bodily harm and guilty of attempt to commit first-degree murder?
Yes, sir.
And do you agree that the verdict form that was scratched through was simply an error?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's a black
Sure,
woman. That's a black woman. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? She like, yeah, put her in jail. And I don't really blame her, man. Put this little... And somebody said she gained weight in jail. I'm telling you, it's a phenomenon. They be gaining weight in jail. I don't know why. She was already larger to begin with, but she must have been stress eating. But yeah, she's gonna go back there for a while. She should have never did that shit. That shit is ridiculous. And she looks like she's 25. I keep saying that. She looks like a 25-year-old person. Like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Badge number 10. Do you agree that the verdict form for guilty of abuse of a child resulting in great bodily harm and the verdict for attempt to commit first-degree murder was the accurate verdict? Was it your verdict?
Yes, sir.
And do you also agree that the verdict that was scratched through was simply an error?
Yes, sir.
See, those are the tears she should have been crying on Stan. You see, when she was on Stan, she was combative. She never had any type of remorseful looks on her face about what she did. No, she just panicked. You know what I mean? She blacked out and ended up there.
Once again, thank you for your service, and you are excused at this time. Please stand for the jury.
Look at her with her hands crossed, like she really did something out here. Like she really did something. Avila's on the side, just bawling her eyes out, just like she don't know what the fuck to do. She really thought this attorney was gonna help her. Look how she looks at her. If this ain't the saddest picture you've ever seen, bro. Attorney's like, well, it ain't my fault. That's what the attorney's saying. Hands crossed, and then you just have Avila just bawling, just like, like, if this ain't the saddest, funniest scene you've ever seen, bro. What, with her little cross, with her little rosary, like, girl, you're not religious. You throw babies in the dumpster. Not even the Pope does that shit. They just mess with little boys. Let me stop it. But come on now. Okay, we're going to move on from her little sad ass, her little sad ass self. And we're going to move into what the judge has to say. This is actual sentencing. So he's going to, basically rain God fire down on her. Let's see what's going on. Real quick before we move on, we have a little cuteness check. You feel me? We have a little cuteness check, a vibe check. All the checks that you guys would want, and it's not me. I am handsome, but it's not me. It is. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Izzy, wake up. The folks want to see you. This is her morning time. She's usually active later on in the evening. But yeah, in case y'all didn't see her, she was out the camera. She's sleepy, man. She's like, man, I'm working these doubles, man. You got me fucked up. So I'm going to go ahead and leave her alone, but cuteness check achieved. Let's put her back. Yeah, sorry. Do what you were doing. As you were.
And I'll give you, Miss Avila, my thinking as to why I came down where I did. As to the crime, do is I'm going to announce my sentence first. There'll be no outbursts from anyone in the courtroom, one way or the other. And then I'll give you, Miss Avila, my thinking as to why I came down where I did. As to the crime of abuse of a child resulting in great bodily harm, a first-degree felony, I send you to 18 years followed by 2 years parole. I'm going
Wait, I thought you got 16, bro. What? Nah, I'd be falling out, bro. I'd be falling out. I don't give a fuck. I don't even care if I'm not losing consciousness. I am falling out right there on the spot.
spend 2 years.
Somebody catch
So
me.
you do 16 years in the Department of Corrections with credit for time served. You have 475 days pre-sentence confinement credit. While in the Department of Corrections, you will participate in complete course of cognitive behavior therapy.
Basically, get your shit together therapy for 16 years. Damn, I wonder if she could get probation sooner. Like maybe after 10 years or something. Because it's like, man, that's a long time.
Which will deal with some of your psychological problems. You'll complete a course on parenting skills.
She ain't no
You will
parent.
participate in any vocational training or college classes during that period of time. I impose a mandatory $5 domestic violence treatment fee, $75 Crime Victims Reparation Act fee, $100 DNA fee. I do find that this is a serious violent offense, which means that your day's credit, the most you could get for good time would be 4 days per month. And I base that upon finding that this was a heinous crime.
Wait, so good credit time served, he only can allow 4 days per month. So wait, so 4 days per month. So that could actually add up. She'll get out a little earlier if she could get that good time, per month. That'll add up.
To toss one's own child into a dumpster like trash is something that it is an unforgivable event by any mother. Your child, I do agree, was very vulnerable, but for the grace of God and the happenstance of the 3 dumpster divers that found your child, we certainly would be here sentence you on a murder case as opposed to where you are. It's a miracle that in the cold weather of that night that your child survived. I do find that leaving the child in the dumpster and having hours to think about what you did indicates that it was a crime that you had an opportunity to correct after you thought about what you had done, but you did nothing. The resulting harm to your child, yes, I agree, there was a high probability of death, almost certain death.
Yeah.
The impact that we heard throughout the trial about the problems with breathing, the problems with your child's organs, these are serious, serious things. And but for the wonders of modern medicine, your child would be dead. And that's not to mention the psychological effect that this has undoubtedly given a situation where your child's going to have to deal with it for the rest of his life.
That's what I'm saying. When he goes to school and when when his parents or whatever, well, he's with his dad right now, which is kind of like, okay. Anyway, but when he goes to school and he hears about it, and they're gonna be like, hey, you're that kid, because hey, kids are relentless. Kids are fucking assholes. They're gonna be like, hey, you're that kid that the mom threw in the trash can. And he's gonna be like, what? So like he's gonna have to go through a few things, but I do think it's gonna make him a strong ass individual. Like once he gets to a certain age, if his pops is anything good, he's gonna teach him like, most people are bullshit anyway, son. Stick to yourself, do your thing. and be real to your few friends that really have your back. Because that's the only thing that really matters.
When thinking about your case, I think over and over again of the fact that there's no doubt that we'd be looking at a murder case, but for luck. So you're very fortunate that those dumpster divers came along. Because there's no question that but for them, your child, who was thrown alive in the middle of a cold afternoon, would be out at the Hobbs landfill dead.
See, that's why I told you. See, what he's saying is the same line of thinking I was on. If those dumpster divers didn't find that baby, she would have got away with it. It would be out in the landfill. Nobody would have looked for no shit in there. It would have been into the abyss. She almost got away with this. That's what you guys are failing to think, to realize. She was this close to getting away with the cover up of the decade. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There would be no Avila in the news. There would be no Avila on AG Tactical. You know what I mean? She was that close.
You just cannot get away from that. The court can't black that out, neither can you. I do find that there are some mitigating factors, and that's why I knocked off 2 of the years. I do think your age is important. You had just turned 18. There's plenty of scientific studies that indicate a child 17, 18 years old, although you're legally an adult, that your mind is still not fully developed at that time. A lot of people do crazy things when they're a young person, but this went beyond the pale. But I do think your age is a significant thing. Secondly, the evidence was uncontradicted that you were suffering from bipolar disorder. That came from Dr. Cave in the testimony. It's in the reports that have been provided to me. Undiagnosed mental illness is probably...
And keep in mind, Dr. Cave had she testified over 400 times, and she had thousands of patients. So when she says you have bipolar disorder, you can kind of believe her. But then again, she's one of the defense's expert witnesses, so it's kind of do we believe that? I don't know, but, she's pretty credible.
Probably a leading cause of people committing criminal acts. It was this court that sent you to the guidance center. It appears that counseling and the medication that you're on has been of some benefit to you, but I do find that someone who's dealing with mental illness is no different from someone dealing with physical illness, and you had it untreated at that time. And I do find that that was a mitigating factor. I also find that you've had no prior record. Anyone that's been in my courtroom for the last 15 years knows that I always look at prior record. Is this someone that has been over and over again in front of a judge, given multiple opportunities? And I think it's of significance that you had no prior record. I also
she was just a dumb girl who did some dumbass shit. You know what I mean? I feel like at that age, the whole world is oh, I messed up and I got pregnant, and oh no, I'm ruining my life, and my parents are gonna I don't know. I don't know what they think their parents are gonna do, but I think I can remember that mindset. If I mess up and my mom finds out, oh, it's the end of the world. Oh my God. Kids don't understand that, a few years down the line, you're doing everything yourself. This is your life. You have controls. Your parents not going to do nothing for you. Your parents all they could do is be disappointed or be proud. That's pretty much as much your parents can do for you at a certain age. And that's what they don't understand. So they do all these things. They hide the baby. They throw him in the dumpster. They do all this stupid ass shit thinking that this is my entire life. My mom is going to kill me, when you could just put it up for adoption and be a fucking grown-up,
And that it was to your benefit that you complied with every aspect of conditions of release. which indicated to me that you're probably, as I believe, not a threat to other individuals at this time, and that you're willing to comply with those things asked of you. Finally, and this is probably the cruelest of all mitigating factors, and it's been mentioned in the presentation here this morning, and that is you've given yourself a life sentence. You've given yourself a life sentence of knowing what you did with your child. And you've also given your son that same life sentence. And that is probably something that is
It's worse than jail.
hard to deal with as any length of time that you may have in prison. Also, as part of your sentence, you are to continue on the medications or whatever medications are prescribed by your doctors while in the Department of Corrections. The request that if there's some kind of security issue that comes up, I assume that the Department of Corrections would deal with that, but I don't know that there's a whole lot that I can do in that regard. But if there is any kind of threat to you, I would ask that you be appropriately moved. The section 311815.1 gives the court discretion if there are mitigating factors, and that's what I used in reducing your sentence by the 2 years.
Yeah, so, she fucked her life. That was pretty much it. My boy went hard on her, but at the same time, he was, nice, loving. Because he was like, hey, kiddo, you fucked up. Now you're going to jail. I love you, though. Much peace and love to you. I wish you all the best. You're still going to jail. You know what I mean? That's like grandpa giving you an ass beating, but he's like, hey, I still love you, kid, But yeah, man, that was Miss Avila again, sentenced. That was her, he took off 2 years. She got 16 instead of the 18, So I guess you could say lucky her. I would just be crying and passing out still, but, that's just me. But, yeah, we're going to get back at you, y'all, with some more business, some more other cases that I've been working on. I also do have this cam model that I wanted to post up, but YouTube is giving me issues. It's a crazy story. But hopefully that goes up soon, and I will see y'all in the next one. Stay safe, stay inside, stay lovely, stay beautiful. I'm out of here.